What, I guess, parenting advice do you have in general to keep kids safe online? You talked about Stop, Block and Talk. Is there any software people can download, or what are like the key things that you'd say?
Well, there's 2 points. You brought up the idea of software, so
Yeah.
that's really good in that sense that you can provide a tool to help, filter websites potentially. But our kids are clever. They'll get around a lot of the stuff. They know.
No.
I mean, every time schools put in something new,
Mm.
we won't reveal how they're doing it here. So, but every time the schools put in something new, all they're doing really is making kids become more and more
Yeah.
clever. What the best thing that we can do is just be involved as a parent. That's the best thing as a parent that we can do. We don't need to be the experts. We don't even need to know what apps that they're using.
Yeah.
We just need to be involved. Ask them what they're doing online. Ask them what's their favorite apps that they're using right now. And you can always, as a parent, look at, let's say they're on Snapchat, that's their favorite one right now. So you can do Parents Guide to Snapchat and find out the best. But Megan, I think, actually has the best advice for parents. And
Yeah. This is, so Nisa, when we first got started, basically asked me what we would have wanted.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing I said was just like to know that our parents have our back. Like, yes, we're going to make mistakes and like we're going to do things that maybe are a little bit questionable sometimes.
Yeah.
But like, I need to know that I've got the support from my parents or my caregivers, like whoever my trusted adult is, to know that I'm going to come to you and you're not just going to take my phone and I'm not going to understand.
Yeah.
You know, like you're going to talk me through it and be like, yes, there's consequences for actions, and that's totally how things work. That's all good.
Yeah.
But like to know that we're still going to work through it together. And so that then next time I will come to you again, because if I come to you and you just take my phone away, you're not going to be my first, maybe fifth option next time something happens.
or when it's really, really bad and
Exactly,
you have
yeah.
no choice but to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
literally. And so I think like the biggest thing is just like be there, be involved. Like you don't need to know everything, but like just being there to listen and to help as much as possible is honestly the biggest thing that you can do as a parent, I think.
I'm just thinking of an analogy when I think back to high school, and something I wasn't very good at was maths. And if I was doing a maths equation and I got it wrong and the teacher took my calculator off me, or that's not going to help me learn, and that's not going to help me to get better. And so it sounds like a similar concept of actually that relationship is really important, and that if you're building that and nurturing that, then actually that's where the growth comes from, not just from the punishment, or consequence, even if that consequence is really important as well.
And even the consequence may be like a limited amount of time on the phone, but it needs to be a why, it needs to be a conversation, and it needs to be after we've dealt with the situation. So not just, I've come to you, oh, this has happened, I don't want to hear about it, I don't want to hear you, give me your phone, that's it. Like that's, to me, I just shut down. I'm not going to want to come to you next time. And so like it's really important in that situation to go, okay, how are we going to work through this together? And at the end of this, hey, I think we need to talk about how much you're on your phone, or how much kind of access we're kind of working through, and look at our family values. So what do we want as a family? Like, do we all want to sit down and have dinner together and there's no devices? Is that something we value? Or do we all go and play sports? Or do we all do some board games on a nighttime? Like find the values, so then we can have the balance as well. I think it's a big thing.
That's awesome.
So you can see through these conversations what we had with the young people at Megan's school at the time, these were the different types of conversations that we had, and that's what helped us come up with the best techniques. So when we're doing parent presentations, we've been able to kind of formalize it more. We put research in behind it as well to ensure that what we're advising is backed by research and evidence. So exactly what Megan was describing was the B in our best techniques, which is boundaries. And what we're really finding is that young people are asking for it. So in our research, we heard a lot of students saying, and young people saying, I wish our parents or the adults were more involved. And now they don't want to have, less time on the phone, but they would have said initially they wish they would have had more boundaries when they can be on the phone, more guidance around what they can do online. And so our B is boundary creation. What can you do? And we really try to, think of what you're already doing offline as a parent. So you're already creating boundaries. You're allowed to go. So you tell your child, you can go to this person's house and you're allowed to be there for this amount of time. So it's the same. You're allowed to go to this website and you're allowed to be on it for this amount of time. You don't go to, when you're at your friend's house, you just don't go to another friend's house without talking to you first. They're going to, you want them to say, don't go to another website, don't click on links, or don't go someplace else without talking to us first. Now, obviously, this is age dependent. You know, we're looking more at, you know, primary age students and even intermediate age, but it's definitely that place to start putting boundaries. And especially, I think one of the big things that we've had to work through with your generation was parents were finding out after the fact a lot of the stuff was happening, and it was like, you know, we don't want to, oh my God, you see this, you saw a nude, or you saw something, it's your fault, take it away. And then the last thing you guys wanted to do was let any of us know that things were happening. And